26 showings, 6 months on the market, not one single offer. These sellers had done everything they were told, and they were starting to believe the problem was them. It wasn't though. When I first met these sellers, they were worn out. Their home had been on the market about 6 months with another agent, and they had expired. In that time, they'd had 26 showings, and not one of them had turned into an offer. At that point, they already had interviewed several agents before they got to me. So their trust was thin, and I understood that. So I went and I walked through the home, and honestly, I noticed it probably the second I stepped inside. It felt closed in, a little bit claustrophobic. This wasn't a small house. It was around 3,000 square feet, but it didn't feel like it. There were plants everywhere in the living room. There was big, heavy furniture in every space, and the whole place just kind of felt a bit dark. And, it wasn't just me. When I asked the sellers what feedback they'd gotten from all those showings, they told me buyers had said the same thing. It felt dark. It didn't feel like the size it actually was. So the problem wasn't a mystery. The buyers had already told them what it was, but nobody had done anything about it. So that's the mistake I see over and over again. So I told them we were going to do the opposite. We'd fix all of it before the house ever went back on the market. So here's what that actually looked like. You're going to front load the work. You put the preparation in before the home ever hits the market, not after it's already sitting. Think about it like anything else worth doing right. The effort you put in on the front end is what determines the result you get on the back end. Most homes that sit aren't sitting because of the market. They're sitting because they went to the market before they were ready. Step one was getting ahead of the inspection. Before a single buyer walked through, we found anything that might need attention and we handled it. And it was often inexpensively. Sometimes things we could take care of ourselves or have a handyman do. That way, when an offer came in, the home was already inspected and ready with no surprises waiting to blow up the deal later. That one step removes so much friction from a sale, the buyer feels it. They can tell this home was cared for. Then came the part that made the biggest difference, and that's staging. We brought in a stager and had the sellers remove many of those plants and much of that big furniture. And I want to be honest, that's real work. And it's not always the easiest conversation to have. Nobody loves being told to pack up their home before it sells. But when I walked back in the home after the stager was done, I couldn't believe it was the same house. It went from dark and closed in to open and bright. Same square footage, completely different feeling. And then we shot it properly. Professional photography, drone footage, a 3D walkthrough tour, video, blueprint of the home. And when the edited pictures came back, it was night and day from how that home had been listed before. That's the part I'd put up against anyone else in this market, not the house, how the house was presented. Now, here's what happened. Once we did it right, we put the home on the market on a Wednesday. They had 2 showings on Thursday and Friday, and they had an offer in hand Friday evening. Same house, same sellers. The one who couldn't get an offer in 26 showings got one in about 2 days because this time it was actually ready. And the review they left me afterward meant a lot. They said, and I'll read it the way they wrote it, what impressed us about Chris was his plan to front load preparations before even putting the house on the market. That's the whole thing right there. So here's the lesson. It's simple. If your home is sitting or it's expired or you're getting showings but no offers, it may not be the market at all. A lot of the time, it's how the home was prepared and presented before it went live. So if your home didn't sell the first time or you just want to get it right from the start, I'd be glad to walk through your home with you and show you honestly what I changed before we list. Reach out anytime. Let's get your home sold the first time. I'm Chris Schmalz with the Chris Schmalz Real Estate Group, where moves are made simple and life is made better.